One person's vitamin is another person's poison. If the vibrational rate of a food, a vitamin, or supplement does not harmonize with the vibrational rate of your body, you will not absorb and metabolize it, though all the experts in the world say you need it. Even good food is toxic if its vibration triggers your immune system to tie itself up in a defensive reaction. If a particular food is highly toxic for you, you do not need an energy test. But many foods drain your energies just a bit or provide less value than they might, and it is hard to sort this out because so many factors influence how you feel after a meal. Energy testing can help you eat what your body needs, which is one of the most powerful steps you can take for maintaining good health. There are so many books out there and so many experts that will tell you exactly what is good for your body, that this food is absolutely necessary for you to prosper and stay healthy, or that vitamin or that mineral. And what I'd like you to know is that we are all unique, we are all very different, and what is really good for you may not be good for somebody else, and vice versa. And I'd like to give you the tool, the test, the technique to be able to know when a food is really good for you or when a vitamin is good for you and how much of a particular supplement might be good for you. So I'd like anybody in here who might like to be tested and find out how to test for food, if somebody would come up here right now. I'll have to grab you if you don't come. Okay. All right, hi. Okay, now I'm going to show you a different energy test tonight. And it tests spleen meridian. And the reason why this is an excellent energy test to use, and perhaps the best one, I think, is because it deals with metabolizing food. Whether or not something will resonate with your energy, whether or not your body will metabolize it. So testing spleen meridian, which governs metabolizing of food, actually governs metabolizing of thought, metabolizing of pollutions, metabolizing of anything that comes your way, is spleen meridian. And this is how you test. Okay, I'm going to stand to the side of your body. You're going to put your finger straight down your leg. I'm going to put one hand up here on your shoulder and one hand above your wrist. And you're going to keep your elbows straight, and you're going to try to hold your arm next to your body, and I'm going to pull it straight out. Now, he's weak to begin with, okay? So we're going to okay, hold your arm real strong again. He's weak. Now, I could use a technique to get him strong, and it just occurred to me I'm going to do something different. I'm going to see if there's any of this food back here will make him strong, because that's the kind of food you want to eat. Food that will really be good, not only be good for you, but will nourish you in such a way that'll give you more vitality and aliveness, okay? So, let's see if this carrot does anything for you, okay? I'm just going to ask him to hold the carrot in his hand. Now, there's another way that you can, probably the best way would be to put the food in your mouth. But if you're allergic to it, if it's not good for you, then you don't want to put it in your mouth. So the second best way is just to hold it in your hand. We have semi-permeable membranes in our hand, and the energy just goes right through your hand and into your body, and your body knows. So hold your arm in the same way again, and I'm going to see if you get any strength from that carrot. Now, you would think, most people would think a carrot would give him a lot of juice, but it doesn't. So let's find something else. How about broccoli? Okay, let's see how the broccoli does. But this just goes to show you we are all different, all right? When we find something that's strong, now hold your arm next. When you find something that's strong, you can't budge the arm. Okay, try. I mean, I could line up several people and try to pull his arm out. He's not going to lose strength. So broccoli for you. Okay.
That's good.
Okay, that's very good. But it was interesting. A carrot, wasn't. Now there's something else. I don't know where this carrot came from, but sometimes it may be that the thing isn't organic. It may be if it was, I don't know if this is organic or not. Does anybody know? So if it's organic, he might register differently on the test than if it wasn't. But it also may be that carrots simply don't metabolize well in his body. Okay? You want to just check out a cookie just to make sure? All right.
I'll tell you about cookies.
Okay. Hold your arm strong. No, I'm sorry. Okay. Okay. Now listen, I want you to do something. We didn't really strengthen you, and we ended you up with a cookie that took away your energy. So just tap right here on the third thumb points, spleen points, and breathe. It helps, by tapping these points, your body begins to metabolize whatever might be in your body already, and it's just very good for you. All right. Okay. Thank you. Now, yes? Yes, foods can change, and your body changes, and what might be good for you one time might not be good for you at another time, or if you filled up on a lot of different foods of one kind, and then suddenly those foods may not sort of resonate and harmonize with some other kind of food coming in. So you may get different tests at different times. But then there are some things that you can count on, that every time you test it, you never are strong on it. And it's really invaluable to know this. It's like, especially if you're a very sensitive person, you may not know that it's the foods you're eating that is draining you a little bit. And in our culture especially, we are so indoctrinated to believe the experts about what is good for us. And what is good for you may be unique to you. It may be unique to you. And it's just really good to know. And about vitamins and supplements and minerals, one company might be good for you and another company might not, because different companies have different fillers and all sorts of different ingredients that might go into that vitamin, that suddenly that vitamin might not test strong on you, but with another company it might. Now, would somebody like to be tested on some vitamins and supplements here so you can see just how you'd test? All right. And again, I test with spleen meridian because more than any other meridian, it'll show you how your body will harmonize with it, whether your body will metabolize it. And just a minute. I'm sorry. There. Okay. All right, so I'm going to test you first just to see. So what you're going to do, if anybody wants to remember this, you put the hand straight down the side of the body with the thumb going down and the fingers going down. You place your open hand above the wrist and you pull the arm out. Okay. All right, so we're going to see if anything here will make you strong, okay? I'm just going to give her, this is a yam root. So we're going to see if your body likes yam root. Okay, hold your arm strong. Okay, she doesn't need it at all. She got much weaker. But that doesn't mean that that's the truth for anybody else. Her body doesn't need yam root. Let's see about this. Put that in your hand and hold your arm strong. And she really takes to B6. Okay. Okay, hold your arm strong. She's very strong on B6. So now I'm going to show you one more thing. Since you're so strong on that, we're going to put a second one in your hand and see, and close your hand around it and hold real strong. 2, she needs at least 2 B6. So we're going to put a third one in and hold. And she loses it on a third one, which means that's too many vitamins. She can only use 2 without it starting to harm her. And it's just as bad, perhaps worse, to have too much of a different kind of vitamin than too little, because your body then has to work very hard to try to break that vitamin down. You can have them. That's all right. So energy testing is a skill that you will refine as you practice it. You can improve the accuracy of your energy tests, however, if you maintain a beginner's mind. If you disengage your expectations, if you focus your intention, if you establish a resonance with the person being tested. And a good idea is to practice under double-blind conditions. Now, what you're going to do is decide between the two of you who wants to be tested first. Okay? You're going to be tested first. All right. And then you're going to turn to their side. Whoever is being tested, turn to their side. One of you is going to test and the other one is going to do the testing. Okay? And you face them. Face their side. Okay? Put one hand on the shoulder and the other hand goes straight down the body with the thumb going straight down, the fingers going straight down. Take your open hand and put it inside between the body and the arm and above the wrist and just pull out for 2 or 3 seconds. And this is not, and make sure that their elbows are straight, okay? And it's not a test to see how strong they are or if you can have more power than them. It's just to see whether the energy is literally traveling through that arm or not. Okay, so I'm going to do it one more time. And let's see, I would say if you, disengage from any expectations whatsoever. Don't guess whether it's going to be strong or weak. To just sort of have a beginner's mind. Have a beginner's mind and just do this. And then you don't have any expectations about it. And then pull the arm out and see if they're strong or if they're weak. You're going to resist. The person being tested resists. Yes, thank you for reminding me. Okay. Did you kind of think you have it? You have some people out there who are weak? I'll tell you what, come to that spleen point and tap them there. Oh, then she doesn't need it, okay? And then test it again and see if you got them strong. Okay? Yeah? All right. So and why don't we have the other person do it also to you so that you can have a sense. Would you like to do it to me?
Yeah, I'd like to try.
No, it doesn't matter, okay? But what I would like you to do is just, especially if you're feeling a little nervous about this, you can just be really within each other's energy fields. If you just sort of take a deep breath together and then pull the arm out. And it's just, okay? Right. So you put one hand on the opposite shoulder, and then the person being tested puts their arm straight down the side of their body. The person testing is going to put their open hand. Don't squeeze your hand around their wrist. Make your hand open so you're not closing energy off in any way. And then just pull for 2 or 3 seconds, okay? How much pressure to pull? It's, let's see. And let's see, I would say you don't have to push with all your might. You don't have to pull with all your might. When somebody's testing you or you're testing someone who is, for instance, weaker than you are, you know that this person, he might be stronger than me, and it felt to me like he was pulling a little bit too hard, so it becomes something where I've got to use my muscles. What I tell people is just use a couple of fingers if you know that okay? And what I'd like you to do is do it with a couple of fingers, your fingers only not turned like this, but your fingers straight. Okay, and just see if I have a bounce. Now I am weak. Now this time it's different. The first time it felt like I was having to use too many muscles. Okay? Well. Okay. Okay. That is, by the way, we all have different vulnerabilities. That happens to be my strongest vulnerability is spleen meridian, that if I'm going to start getting weak on something, it's going to be spleen. And that has a lot to do with my history, and my old illnesses had to do with spleen meridian. So if I get off at all, it's going to show up in spleen meridian. So it really behooves me to keep these very strong. Oh, did the food leave? I was going to say, I wonder if any of that would be good for me. I'll try the cookie. Okay, now the only thing I would say is that with you on your test is just make sure your fingers don't bend. And you're going to see if I have a bounce. Okay. Okay, now that time, see your fingers begin to bend, okay? So you don't want them to do that. Okay, now do it. Okay, now that was actually, you're pulling a little too hard. Okay, try it again. Okay, you just see if I'm going to bounce back. Okay, do it again. Yes, do I have a bounce back? Yeah. You're looking for a bounce. Now, if there is no bounce and you pull too long, you can't tell. Like if okay, you hold your arm strong. If I pull, now he is a little weak again. Let's see if the broccoli does for you. Here. Okay, now hold. Yeah, broccoli's good for you. Now see, there's a real difference now. Now hold I can't pull it out any further. There's something else to know, that if you're having to struggle too hard to hold your arm, you might consider that there's weakness there, even if it holds. If you're having to struggle too much, there is some weakness there, okay? But could you feel the difference when you had the broccoli or when you didn't?
I think I could.
Yeah, okay. Well,
I like broccoli.
Okay, let's try a cookie for you.
I hope this works.
Okay, now hold. Sorry. I think I can do that with 2 fingers. Yes, I can. Okay. All right. Anyway, you want to make yourself strong. But that's how you would test food. You would put the food in your hand and test it. If anybody would like to try, we ought to just take a moment here. If anybody would like to experience it, take a carrot, or everybody take one thing and just test it so that, and just test it and see if you get a difference. You want were you strong on it, weak on it?
Well, she started out really strong.
And she got weak on the cauliflower? Yeah. Well, now that's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, the first time I tested her, she was
yeah. You want to try?
I'll try the broccoli.
I guess I better get this show on the road. I'll have you guys all sit down now. Another thing you can do if you're unsure, because it takes a while it's like learning a new motor skill. When you first learn something, especially a motor skill, your body feels a little clumsy. You feel a little clumsy doing it. So practice in a double-blind test. You don't know what you're testing, the other person doesn't know, and practice that way, and pretty soon you'll get very, very proficient at it. Oh, if you've already tested something that you know is good for you, then put that in the double-blind test. You don't know which food that is or what it is, and just have somebody test that on you that you already know is good for you, and find out if you get an accurate test. And in the beginning, when your mind is involved or when you're unsure of yourself, you may not always get an accurate test, but very soon, suddenly, you'll start getting very accurate tests. And I work with children a lot, and children can do this real quick after they get into it, and they know when it really works, and it does.